Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
That's us. I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. Welcome to episode 188 of the Weekly Pour podcast. Weekly Pour podcast. Let's start all over. We're starting.
Can you talk?
No, apparently not. We're starting all over. Today is July 8th. It is currently 7 p.m. So if you ever wonder what time we do this, this is the time. It is now. It is.
I feel like you're pointing that at me.
No, not at all. I made no reference to the fact that you showed up 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago. Nothing whatsoever. Real quick, I have two big things I need to get out of the way. Number one, as you choke yourself, that's good. I'm going to have to mute you as you choke. Two things I need to get out of the way. Number one, hopefully, if you're watching, you're paying attention to the chat. And you will see that Mama TBT is back in the chat. She was not here last week. Obviously, she was feeling a little under the weather. Aren't we always under the weather?
Always.
I just really wanted to know if you were going to be able to talk after your choke fest there. But anyway,
you made me laugh so hard.
We wanted to welcome back Mama TBT, and I want to send something. I know she's not out. I don't think she's listening tonight, or at least live, but I do want to give a quick little shout out also to Lil TBT, who has made it back home from her extended vacation, if that's what we want to call it. But anyway, yeah. So here we are, episode 188. We are getting so close to episode 200, which will be whenever we get to it. If you are in the chat, be sure to stop in and say hi. Throw something up there. Let us know you're there. If you're watching this live, it's unpredictable because we really have no idea what's going to happen other than the stories that we're going to cover tonight, which will include some stuff on Mötley Crüe. We've got some Metallica stuff, some Black Sabbath, and even
Skid Row.
No, that was cut. It was cut. The return to the stage of Bon Jovi. We'll get into all those a little bit later. We got plenty of stuff to talk about with those. To those that are actually listening to this after the fact, wherever you're listening to it, be sure to give us a review. 5 stars preferably. 4 is okay. 3, we don't want you listening anymore. That's not true. I'll take a 1-star review. But anyway, that all helps us out, so we appreciate it. And I want to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, I wanted to address the elephant in the room as well.
Have at it.
What happened to your goatee? Your little goatee?
That was the result of a weed eater accident.
So a mistake?
No, it was a weed eater accident. When you're running those things and you flip them over while they're still running, and your toe happens to hit the trigger and it whirls, those things are sharp enough to cut off beard hair.
So what were you checking? Did you get some grass caught in there, or why would you do that? Why? Isn't there a safety measure for that?
You weren't supposed to ask questions that I didn't have answers to. I wasn't prepared. I make up this lie thinking I'm going to be okay, and then you have to take it further.
Exactly. Well, because we have questions.
Yeah. We will put this as a reference to Mötley Crüe and just say it was time for change.
Okay.
Cheesy as that was, it wasn't. It was honestly just because in the summertime It's a lot. It gets frizzy, and I got tired of dealing with it because I was hoofing up like a freaking afro with frizz.
It looks good.
Oh, thanks.
Looks good like that.
Thanks.
You look like you look like an accounting version of Bill Goldberg.
Well, that's weird. What I was thinking about doing was wearing my glasses like this tonight, just to see if anybody would actually pay attention and notice. But it really
Instead
hurts
of
my
the beard?
eyes. Yeah, like they would see that and not pay attention. I'd be like, "Look, my eyes are up here." I get told that a lot.
Yeah,
by Mrs. TBT for whatever reason. That's weird. I don't understand. Hey, I hope you had a good 4th of July, since it's now the 8th.
We did.
And the 4th was it Friday? Saturday? I don't know.
Saturday.
Okay, whatever. I found out.
I did. I had a great one. We had everyone over.
Excellent.
We had a big pool party.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess hang on, let me check. Nope, no invite. It wouldn't have mattered anyway, because it's not like I wouldn't have had to have came home because, I got to give the dog a shot.
Exactly. One of you would have had to stay at home.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But that is not happening as of, never mind. It's always going to happen. I tried to make it better, and I can't.
So, no, we had everyone over, had a big cookout in my backyard, family stuff. It was great. Had a good time.
Was the yard mowed for the people to come over?
Yes, the yard was mowed. The pool was working. Things were going well.
Was the pool still leaking, though?
Yeah, that pump is still leaking. Tomorrow, the pool guy comes over, and he is replacing that pump.
The pool guy?
Yeah, the pool guy.
Oh. You have a pool boy?
What?
Is that what you're saying?
No. I call these guys, and they come down.
So I just look up the pool guy?
Yeah, it's not like a mafia thing or nothing. It's just the pool guy.
Oh. Well, okay.
And this saves me the trouble of screwing it up, which I might do and make several trips to Lowe's and ruin my day because I'm trying to work on the pool.
I would prefer that because I would love to hear the story.
Oh no, man! I've had enough of that stuff. Enough. I will pay the $100 an hour this man charges. I will pay that for the satisfaction of knowing that my pool pump works and doesn't leak.
For that, I would go ahead and unhook it and have it sitting at the side of the road so he's there for less time.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
I might do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks. Come on over.
Yeah, I'll be there on my mower. Real quick, of course, we want to give a quick thank you, as always, to Petty Sport Decisions. As you can see, that's the shirt I'm wearing. They are our sponsor. They are the sponsor for tonight's episode, and just about every other episode. Be sure to check them out on Facebook. There is a link to their site in the show notes, which are somewhere wherever you're watching or whatever. If you have an event going on or whatever, be sure to hit them up if you want a mobile bar service. No, you do not have to always have the alcohol. You can do something like dirty sodas, and they'll even do water if you just want them to serve water because you don't want to. Maybe even out of a garden hose. I think it's a pretty
Now
good
wait, that's not necessarily a poor decision.
Drinking
if you get water
out of a water hose, they say is a poor decision. But you and I are fine.
We did that for years.
Yeah. It's kind of like peeing outside. Why go to the toilet and waste 22 gallons of water and you can just pee outside?
I step out on my back porch all the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I just open the door.
No one's around you.
Well, I know. That's why I do it. The back door, because the front door, the cops 3 times, whatever. It got weird.
But no one's around.
No, this is true. This is very true. Hello to everybody.
You're incredibly isolated.
Yes. Isolated.
Yeah.
isolated incident. Hello to everybody that's in the chat. If you are watching live, I can see Mama TBT, who I've already mentioned, of course. Mrs. TBT's in there. Pam is in there. I'm going to see this Pam lady. I'm going to see her on Friday because I will be going down to Paoli, Indiana this Friday for Aaron frickin' Lewis
oh, wow.
at Castle Knoll,
That's
at the Castle Knoll Amphitheater.
This week?
That is this Friday.
I have Evanescence tomorrow.
Fantastic. So it looks like next week you and I will both have reports from upcoming shows. So that's very cool. You know, I did find something as I was going through the news of the last week, which was very sparse, which sometimes is good. One thing I want to do is I want to take a trip down to Hollywood, not Florida. That would be California. The Sunset Strip in November, just a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. I want to go to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
Oh, yeah. This always sounds fun.
This thing has been going on for what, like 30 years, 40 years, something like that?
That long?
I want to say it's been 30 years. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary, if I'm reading this right. Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp is one of those things that gives music fans and aspiring musicians the opportunity to live out their dreams by performing, rehearsing, recording, and learning alongside legendary artists. They've had everybody from like executives, company executives, entrepreneurs, hobbyists, professional musicians, all kinds of stuff. The lineup for this year, though, let me tell you, it is spectacular. You've got Michael Anthony, of course, from Van Halen and we'll say Sammy Hagar band. Warren DeMartini, which is huge, from Rat.
Yes, because he doesn't do a lot, but he's been getting out more lately.
Yes.
I like that.
Exactly. Brad Gillis, of course, from Night Ranger, and Kenny Aronoff, who also is from Sammy Hagar Band. They are headlining this. It's 4 unforgettable days of music, mentorship, and live performances. There's a lot more to it than this. The participants, if you're there, they will spend 4 days rehearsing in bands, attending intimate master classes, plus question and answer sessions, jamming with the featured artists, and receiving hands-on guidance from an all-star roster of rock star counselors. Here's kind of like one of the cool things. It's open to all musicians and vocalists of all ages and skill levels, so maybe Skid Row can find their new singer there. The experience culminates with 2 live performances at Hollywood's most iconic rock venues, the Whiskey A Go Go and the Viper Room. That's where campers will perform before a live audience on the same stages that launched generations of rock music. And I don't know about you, but if I got the opportunity to go to LA, even if I just stood outside and took pictures of these 2 places, those are the 2 iconic places I'm going to stop at.
Think about this. That show, you're there at the Whiskey with DeMartini and Gillis and Aronoff and Michael Anthony. And it would be worth the money to stand backstage with those guys and listen to them tell stories of everything that went on at the Whiskey back in the day. That would be worth the price of admission right there.
The nostalgia alone inside both of those establishments.
Right. I don't think the Starwood is around anymore, but that's also one of the big ones.
Yeah. If you've never heard of Rock Camp before, I would say you're probably living under a rock, because this thing has been featured on, like, I think, The Simpsons, or at least mentioned. And The Simpsons have been around since 1912. It was mentioned on that. Jeff Beck once called the camp the best way to give back after everything music had given him. Roger Daltrey says in the documentary Rock Camp that the experience reminds him of what it felt like when he was just starting out. And of course, Gene Simmons has said that he wishes Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp existed when he was up and coming so young artists can learn directly from the legends. So very cool. Man, it's in November if you want to go. So 12th through the 15th. I don't know how much it is. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Is there a price on that? I'd love to know.
Well, keep talking, and I'm going to look it up. Rock and
Yeah,
roll.
it says that you'll also get to perform classic songs from Van Halen, Rat, Night Ranger, and more 80s rock bands, such as Panama, Ain't Talking About Love, Best of Both Worlds, Round and Round, Lay It Down, and Sister Christian. I would just love to learn how they do some of these solos. DeMartini and the way he plays those riffs for Rat. I love how Gillis plays his guitar solos. I don't know what they will be teaching. I wonder what you talk about, the skill level being any skill level. And I wonder what a beginner would get out of this because, you may be far behind the curve of everyone else that shows up. There may be a lot of guys like Viper that show up to this who have years of experience playing guitar, and this is just icing on the cake for them.
Yeah. So
but
they have 3 different packages. Now I don't know what all's included. Actually, it literally says it. Here's what's included. I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. But autographs and photos for lifetime memories, a video download of your final night performance, lunches and behind the scenes stories. You get your choice of a variety of master classes during camp that are given by their rock star counselors. You'll be put in a band and spend 4 days with your counselor who will assess your current ability and guide you, blah, blah, blah. Nowhere in here does this say anything about hotel packages, which I'm not surprised, especially because a lot of people are probably somewhat local. They have a headliner package, a junior rocker package, and a Rockstar 101 package, which is customized for beginners. None of these prices are over $6,000.
Over $6,000?
None of them are over $6,000.
Okay.
They also have guest packages. They have the backstage pass package. That's basically doing everything except for the band stuff. They also have a roadie crew package, which would be kind of cool if you're wanting to get into the world of being a roadie. But they also have the groupie package. It apparently teaches you how to be a groupie.
No.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't. I hope so. I mean,
It is an add-on after selecting any camper package. They've got other add-ons, autographed guitars, a photo package, blah, blah, blah. One thing to keep in mind, and I thought this was very, very cool. Let me back out of that. So the one we're talking about is they're calling it the Van Halen 5150 Rat Dancing Undercover and More 80s Rock, November 12th through the 15th of this year. For those that are looking and saying, well, that's great, but where are the women rockers? Well, I got that covered too, because just a week before, November 5th through the 8th in LA, the Women's Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp and Songwriter Fantasy Camp will be taking place. You will also get 2 live performances at the Whiskey and the Viper Room. This gives you the opportunity to jam with Belinda Carlisle, Kate Pearson from the B-52s, Kathy Valentine from the Go-Go's, Cherry Curry from the Runaways, Lisa Loeb, who everybody should know, and rock star counselors include Ashley Reeve, who is with Cher, Eva Gardner, who's with Pink, Britt Lightning from Vixen.
All that.
And many more, it says, to be announced soon. So they've got you covered whether or not whether you're a male trying to get into the business, a female. Those are both in LA, but they also have one in New York, which is going to be a couple weeks before that in October. And it's going to be featuring the music of the Kinks, The Who, Billy Joel, and the band. Rockstar Counselors, Derek St. Holmes from Ted Nugent.
Oh, wow. That'd be great.
Britt Lightning again from Vixen. Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake.
Excellent guitar player.
And Vinny Appice from Black
Yes,
Sabbath.
I saw that.
I mean,
it's a peachy.
Whatever. Everybody knows that it's not. So how cool are all of those? No matter what. If you're interested in any of those, I recommend that you go to rockcamp.com, spelt just like it sounds, rockcamp.com, and check those out. There are some videos of some of the past stuffs. They've actually got a podcast of their own. Yeah, very, very cool. And that's an exciting thing for anybody that's in the business or wanting to break through and get some counseling or whatever you want to call it from some superstars that have actually been doing it for years. So very,
well,
very
what if you were someone that was so close to breaking through and you paid the money and did this, and this was what you got you over the hump? That would be neat.
This could be what breaks you through to the other side.
Right.
That's pretty good. You like that?
Does it list any requirement of what you've got to bring? If you're a drummer, are you bringing your whole kit?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look that deep. I'm not going, so I'm not looking that deep. If our listeners want to know, they can dig. rockcamp.com. Yeah, I don't know.
I was just thinking that'd be a pain in the butt to put on a plane, your whole drum kit.
I would say you probably don't. But if you're a guitarist, you probably want to take your own gear, or at least your own guitar.
Yes.
Bass player. Maybe you have your favorite microphone if you're a vocalist. You can only use the...
Well, that's the thing. It didn't list a lot vocalists, really, did they?
No.
Like known singers that we know.
No.
Because that would be very helpful.
Right.
If you're a singer, obviously.
Right. Well, I mean, you've also got American Idol and The Voice and whatever the other one is, right? Where they hit the button.
Right. But yeah, that one.
Yeah. I don't know what that one is.
America's Got Talent.
Sure. That sounds like it. Yes, and Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp celebrates its 30th year, and the mission remains the same. No competition, no judgment, just music, connection, and the experience of a lifetime. So
that'd be fun.
Sure to go check that out. That would be a blast. One thing that you're not going to be able to take an opportunity to check out anymore is the M72 Metallica tour. It has finally concluded.
No.
Finally. July 5th, which I don't have to tell you is the day after July 4th, that tour concluded in London. There's a little bit more to it than that. If you can think about what happened a year ago on July 5th, I will give you 5 seconds. But did you not even have an answer?
Day after 4th of July.
Okay, that's what we'll roll with. Very cool that Metallica's tour concluded in London on July 5th. This is after 99 concerts across 26 countries. The run began in Amsterdam on April 27th, 2023, and stretched across more than 3 years. The United States hosted 39 performances, followed by Germany with 7, and Canada and the United Kingdom with 6 each. There were a lot of people that were curious about. I'm going to get to the date. I'll get back to that in a minute. One of the big things that people like to talk about are songs. What songs are played, what songs are not played. Mm-hmm. These were like no repeat weekends. So you would have maybe a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or well, I guess that would really be it. I don't know if it was a Saturday, Sunday, or just a three.
No, there was always a day in between.
Yeah. So it's very cool, but there's a list going around from each year starting in 2023 of what were the most and least played M72 songs. And I found it pretty interesting because 72 Seasons had just came out in 2023. So Lux Eterna was that year's most frequently played song at 15 performances. Of course, they did everything else like Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, Creeping Death, One, Seek and Destroy. Those all appeared 14 times, where I Disappear and Cyanide were played only one time each, which to me is kind of surprising. Cyanide's one of those just rocking tracks. I'll skip the next two shows or next year. I'll skip 2024. I want to run into 2025 because that was an entire year last year. That was the busiest M72 year because they played 29 shows. Now, 29 shows, you're thinking, that's not really that big of a deal. There's only 52 weeks a year. So basically, they played over half the year, or at least over half the weeks of the year. Metallica began reducing the number of 72 season songs and leaning more heavily on established concert staples. 9 songs, including Master. Oh, I can tell you why. It's because Lux Eterna was no longer, and 72 Seasons, no longer brand new. So it's time to start pulling out what the fans want. You know, they're used to those. This is what they're going to see, even though a lot of people like to go, including myself, to hear some of the new stuff. So they started leaning more on heavily established staples, of course. 9 songs, including Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman, One, Fuel, and Creeping Death, appeared 22 times.
Wow.
Until It Sleeps, The Shortest Straw, and No Leaf Clover were each performed one time. One freaking time. Then you get to the final leg of 2026, which consisted of 16 European shows, 11 songs, including The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Master of Puppets, and Enter Sandman appeared 12 times. The Shortest Straw, one of my all-time favorites, Hit the Lights, Hardwired, and Fight Fire with Fire were played only once. The no repeat weekend format created obviously a variety between 2-night stops, but a dependable core of 9 or 10 major songs still dominated the tour, and we just kind of went through that list. I mean, they've got the catalog. They literally had the catalog to play it, which is why they had the no repeats.
But I thought it would be a little more diverse in some ways. But they also know, like you said, they know the audience.
Oh, yeah. When you've got 70,000 people there, you know that probably 69,999 are waiting for Master of Puppets. The only one that's not one who's never heard.
I would say most of them are waiting for Enter Sandman and Fuel, then Masters of Puppets and that sort of thing.
Oh, I would not put Fuel above Master of Puppets.
Not above it. But
well, no, I mean just for what people want to hear, especially after it was featured on Stranger Things. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, all those people that thought they knew that song, they loved it all along. It was always our favorite. No, it wasn't. But no, I thought being with such a vast catalog, it's not that they have a lot of records, but it's the fact that they can pull any track, and it's a good track
for sure.
For the most part. I just thought it would be a little bit more diverse, but I guess you're not going to miss out on playing Sandman, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Nothing Else Matters, One, at least one of those nights. That's why it's important, if you're buying tickets to this, that you go to both shows, because you don't know what night you're going to miss the songs you want to hear.
Absolutely.
And if you, granted, you're paying a good bit of money for the ticket, but I mean, if you're a big Metallica fan, this is huge, a huge, big Metallica weekend. You know, if you have the money, it's well worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I just jumped back over to the chat because I didn't have it in front of me at the time. Backstage Recordings, who's back in there, said that her niece was part of the last women's rock fantasy camp. That's very cool.
Oh wow!
That's
what was her role?
Well, I don't know that.
Why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Viper chimed in and asked when I was asking about the relevance of July 5th, and he says Ozzy's final concert, and he is absolutely correct. When Metallica concluded that M72 tour on July 5th
I
in
did hear
London,
that today.
they, as we add on to that part of the story, they actually did a tribute, what's being called a very powerful tribute to the late Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. The special moment came during the traditional Kirk and Rob doodle, where the other two get a break and those two just play around. During the Metallica set, one of those became evident right away as bassist Robert Trujillo stepped to the mic to address the audience, stating, "A year ago today was a very important event. Back to the beginning, Black Sabbath and so many other people. Someone just gave me this right now and it's pretty powerful." He then held up a sign that says, "Do it for Ozzy." So they ended up doing a mashup of a couple different songs. Dedicated it to Ozzy. And so what they ended up doing was a mashup of Electric Funeral, of course, from Black Sabbath, and Holiday in the Sun by the Sex Pistols. That video of that performance is actually available on the YouTubes if you get a chance to check that out. But how cool this is my take on it anyway. That was a total tribute because Black Sabbath did have that influence on Metallica. I mean, there's no way that they wouldn't have. There was something I was gonna say. Okay, so yeah, when Metallica played at the Back to the Beginning tribute, they performed "Hole in the Sky" and "Johnny Blade." They've also done some previous Sabbath tributes to include Iron Man, Paranoid, and Sabracadabra. It's very cool. It was brief,
and leave it to them to pull out the obscure songs.
Yeah,
to play, which I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think pairing Sabbath and the Sex Pistols was, kind of like it connected two of the huge freaking British bands, that were such a big influence on a lot of the bands that we have out today, or at least from that time period, from the Metallica time, which is still now. But I mean, you know what I mean. So it's kind of cool that they acknowledge Sabbath and Ozzy, especially playing in London a year to the date of that show. So that was very, very cool.
That's really cool to end it there and to commemorate that event.
Yeah, and go check that video out because it's pretty badass. Anything I swear that Metallica puts on is just badass. But yeah, very cool. A few of the other stories, actually, since we're talking about Black Sabbath, we might as well talk about the new first ever official Black Sabbath book that's coming out in October. It is called The Masters of Reality. This first ever official Black Sabbath book due to ship in October. Again, the name, The Masters of Reality. Why Black Sabbath Matter. It's been created by photographer Ross Halfin, who has done, I guess I wouldn't even say rock photography. He's done band and just music photography for what seems like ever. A lot of his stuff, if I'm not mistaken, was featured in magazines like Metal Edge, like Circus, Hit Parader, different things like that we had back in the day. Man, I miss those magazines.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, those were great. I had some notes wrote down here that I took in regards to that Black Sabbath.
I have still one or two Hit Parader magazines
Really?
buried somewhere in my house.
The band was involved with this creation, and this book is over 500 pages. So this isn't a quick little pop-up, 40-page book of, pictures and stuff like that. It traces Sabbath from its late 1960s beginnings through the Back to the Beginning farewell concert on July 5th, 2025. It focuses on the classic lineup of Ozzy, Tony, Geezer, and Bill.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
includes,
wondered.
yep, and it includes rare photographs, memorabilia, and essays by Jeff Barton and Dave Ling, who conducted special interviews with all 4 members. 3 editions are being offered, including 2 deluxe versions featuring book plates signed by all 4 original members. Those signed editions are limited to 300 and 200, respectfully. The project has been in development for roughly 2 years and was originally going to be announced shortly after the farewell concert. Obviously, those plans were postponed following Ozzy's death. And according to Halfin, Ozzy had been actively involved and signed the book plates months before the final performance. So it's not simply another autobiography or unauthorized Sabbath book.
No, they're behind this.
Yeah, which at 500 pages, it's like it's going to be a definitive visual history rather than just a quick cash in with 20 photos that everyone's already seen on a t-shirt,
Well, you say visual history, but it's not comprehensive because it excludes the Dio stuff, the Tony Martin era. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. Since Ozzy's death, that era has kind of been pushed out.
Well,
You know, a little bit.
it doesn't say that it's not going to cover that. It just says that it will focus on the classic lineup. They
Yeah,
have to say something in between the time Ozzy departed and before, all of the other
back
stuff. But
right.
it specifically states that it will trace Sabbath back from its 60s beginnings through back to the beginning. So I bet you it's in there. I bet you they don't leave it out. I would be shocked if they did.
I would be shocked too because that's a huge chunk of the catalog. Well, and the Dio stuff was so well received.
Yeah.
That Sabbath wouldn't have existed past 1978 or 79, without Dio coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's almost like if they don't include it, it's almost like when Alex Van Halen intentionally just stops pretending Van Halen existed after 1984. you
Yeah.
know, and that whole era gets whitewashed. So I hope it's in there at least a little bit. I think it deserves it. I think Ronnie James Dio is just too important to not just that band, but metal in general.
No, for sure. I'm trying to look and see if I can find anything in regards to Ronnie James Dio being in there.
I don't know that would be a selling point because the selling point would be we're
Sure.
concentrating on the 4 original members.
Yeah, especially when there was no Dio representation at Back to the Beginning.
Exactly. So if it's in there, they may not point that out. It's just there.
Yeah, it may just be something. Oh, you come across and there it is. I just pulled up an article from Chaos Zine, kind of like magazine, but it's Chaos Magazine. I'm looking to see if it mentions anything about Dio. And I'm not seeing anything. So who knows? We'll have to wait until this comes out and then we'll read it ourselves and find out.
Yeah, and the back to the beginning. exclusion. I understand that. That was Ozzy and the rest of the original Sabbath celebrating that version of Sabbath and that history. I understand that.
Yeah.
They don't want to bring in a bunch of Dio stuff and just cloud up the air there. I get it.
Well,
But when you're
there's
putting out do what?
There's a very good possibility that Sharon could have had her hands in some of this too, and
Yes.
backstage just pointed out that Sharon probably will omit the others.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I have a question. I don't know her history with with that version of the band. Ozzy wasn't in it, so she's out.
Right.
And she I don't know if she cares about Ronnie James Dio or not, but she's got a history of just excluding certain things and certain people. And if it's not about Ozzy,
what?
I thought about this the other day because Crazy Train, I think it just got certified triple gazillion diamond, a billion streams or something.
Is that even
there was
real?
an article. There was an article about it, and my first thought was, "Wow, think of the money the rest of the band is making, off of that song." And I stopped myself and said, "Wait, no one's making any money off that song."
Exactly.
Because Bob Daisley, who wrote the lyrics, I think, got wiped out of it. I don't know that Randy Rhoads even got credit on that song, and it was just Ozzy. By the end of all of it, everything was Ozzy, which is kind of sad because man, the money you could make off Crazy Train if you had one songwriting credit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Apparently we didn't get it either, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We have talked about this next story for a while because we've been a little curious to see how things were gonna go with this. We have two stories that we're going to talk about that involve bands that are finally hitting the stage again. The first one we're going to talk about is Mötley Crüe. As they have opened up their 2026 concert schedule that they performed at the Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg on the 4th of July. And they have dramatically revised their set list by reviving at least 4 songs that had been absent for more than a decade. And if you remember, I'm pretty sure we talked about this months ago. There were some social media posts being put out by Mötley Crüe, and they wanted fan involvement. They were asking, what do you want to hear? What are some of the things we should pull out of the archive instead of, just the normal stuff that's played every single show that they've done for years and years and years. It's all the same stuff.
It's the curse of having a big popular catalog.
For sure. For sure. Well, they did it as they opened with Red Hot, which was performed for the first time since 2013, followed by Louder Than Hell,
Love that song,
which had not appeared since 2015. It gets better though. Later, they brought back Too Young to Fall in Love, also absent since 2015. But the biggest surprise was Take Me to the Top, which Mötley Crüe had not performed live since 1984. Wow. It's hard for me to believe that they've not performed that in 40 years. Because not everybody had access to social media or phones or internet and all that stuff. Maybe they did. But it just got recorded the other day.
Where's the information coming from, though?
Sure.
I believe it in a sense that actually is a bit of an obscure track, even on that first album. That wasn't the focus of the first album.
Yeah.
Now it got a lot of play during the movie, the Netflix movie, if you remember.
Oh, The Dirt.
Yeah, The Dirt.
Yeah.
That song got played a bunch. But it's a bit of a deep track, but it's also one that people know.
Right. They also restored a full version of Smoking in the Boys' Room instead of squeezing it into the covers medley used since the band's 2022 return.
So, why are they doing a medley?
No. They're not now. They did.
No. Why did they?
Time.
Yeah, but that seems like something that
because every time they played a remake, it probably had to be, or a cover, they probably had to pay.
Not live. I don't think you do live.
Who knows?
No, I don't think you do live. It's just that was a pretty big song. Why would you, cut that one into let's do a covers medley of Jailhouse Rock, Smoke in the Boys' Room, and whatever else we got, and it just seems so. It seems so Vegas, is what I'm saying, like lounge singer thing,
So does Smoking in the Boys' Room. I was so sick and tired of that song.
Well, it doesn't mean it's not something people want to hear. We could go argue that all day.
Nobody wants to hear
it. I think my wife would object. She likes that one.
She was the only one in the poll that said she wanted to hear it. The Winnipeg appearance was technically just a festival appearance rather than the launch of the tour. That actually begins in about 9 days. Of course, with Extreme and Tesla, the 16-song Winnipeg set ended with the expected trio of Girls, 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 Dr. Feelgood, and Kickstart My Heart. A 42-year absence for Take Me to the Top. I mean, they could have called that song Legally Dead and not even played it. But I love that song. That's such a good classic, just that raw sound of Mötley Crüe.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that when you first heard Theater of Pain, and you're like, okay, that's a pretty good album. What did they have before that? And then you go back and listen to what they had before, and you get a song like that. Holy moly. Just incredible.
Yeah. Well, and even from the, Theater of Pain to that record, the sound had changed dramatically.
Yeah.
So to go backwards and hear where they came from, that raw energy they had on that record, almost like going back and listening to Look What the Cat Dragged In.
Sure.
Because to me, those are similar records in the sense that they were hastily cut. It's just raw energy.
Raw.
Yeah. Almost garage sounding, which in a lot of ways is what rock and roll is, just intense, quick, dirty.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. I like that they didn't just bury that song and forget we ever had it. And what people would argue, what did they cut to throw these songs in? You probably don't even notice what they cut.
Yeah. Maybe they cut things like something that was on Generation Swine or the self-titled Mötley Crüe album. I mean, who knows? I've not looked at the set list from that specific show, but it will be interesting to see if they keep these 4 revived songs in their set list, or if this was just a one-off at Winnipeg just to see if they could actually pull it off. Of course, they'll be at Ruoff, Deer Creek, whatever you want to call it, August 28th, I believe.
Yep.
And I am scheduled to be at that show, so I will let you know what they end up playing. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Vince's voice holds out just enough to do this tour and finish it off. Form your own opinions about his voice. There are. I've saw a couple videos. People were saying, "Man, he just needs to retire." Piss off. It's Vince.
Those people. Those people need to go and listen to Don Dokken.
Yeah.
And their minds will be changed.
Right. Yeah.
No offense, Don Dokken. But,
yeah.
But I'm excited for you because you get to see and maybe you won't be excited, but I love Tesla. And they put on a great show.
Yeah, I've
so
seen them before.
You're in for a treat.
I'm more excited to see Extreme because it'll be good. It'll be very cool to see Nuno Betancourt again. It's been a few years since I've watched him perform.
Yeah.
The last story we're going to get into is actually probably the biggest story of the night. At least for the week. It's amazing. It's very cool that after a few years, we actually get to bring this up because we've been waiting and waiting just to see if anything was going to happen. But Bon Jovi launched its 2026 comeback with the first of 9 sold out Madison Square Garden concerts.
Yeah.
They just started it yesterday. It marked the band's first major public concert since 2022. And of course, Jon Bon Jovi's first large scale performance. We've seen him do a few little intimate things. But this is his first large scale performance since undergoing vocal cord surgery and an extensive rehab process. They did 21 songs. Yeah. They opened with a Joe Cocker style arrangement of the Beatles with a little help from my friends, which was kind of cool. You're kicking off the show because it's almost an indicator from Jon Bon Jovi, like, we're going to get through this, but not without a little help from my friends.
You're going to help.
Yeah. The first half of the show leaned heavily on newer and 21st century material. They did Beautiful Drug, Lost Highway, Who Says You Can't Go Home, and Legendary. They say that by doing that, this allowed John to settle into songs better suited to his current vocal range.
Right. He's hitting that mid-range
right
on the newer stuff. He's not stretching that vocal cord right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that because everything was tuned down. That doesn't make it a crappy performance. That doesn't make the song crappy. It just makes you, as you're lip syncing it, go, oh, I guess I got to tune it down a little bit, which probably made you sound better anyway. The biggest crowd reactions, of course, came from You Give Love a Bad Name, Born to Be My Baby, Living on a Prayer, It's My Life. I guess at the end of the show, it's my turn to choke. The regular set closed with Keep the Faith, followed by an encore of I'll Be There For You, Wanted Dead or Alive, and Bad Medicine. In These Arms was also performed in a noticeably lower tuning. But
it was very well. I love that song. And that's got, it's classic Bon Jovi, a lot of big notes in it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch any of the video from this show?
Yeah.
That song was really tuned down, and that was one I noticed, but it's at the it's toward the end of the show, isn't it? Anyway, I noticed that it was a bit of a struggle there for him on that one, even though it was in the mid-range and, right where he should be. But then other stuff, he did really well on. Even You Give Love a Bad Name, he didn't do bad.
Right.
He didn't do bad. And Gone was that wavery. I don't know if you watched the Tony Robbins stuff from April when he did the full performance on that Tony Robbins show, but that was a struggle.
That's kind of what I was alluding to at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, that was a big struggle, and he was hanging on that microphone for dear life, and it was really rough. This wasn't as bad at all.
No, the story's not really about whether John sounds exactly like he did in 1987, because the answer is freaking no.
No.
Nobody sounds the same way as they did in 1987, whether you're a vocalist or just somebody walking down the street. Nobody does. But they made these arrangements appear like intelligently designed.
Yes.
Like around his current range rather than forcing him into chase notes that he can no longer get, because then that ends up being something that nobody wants to hear. And then you get all the internet people coming out saying, oh, he needs to retire. It sucks, blah, 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 blah.
Here was the advantage he had. He had two big advantages. Number one, the crowd. Because when they got to the big hits, that crowd, it was a sing-along. Yeah. And John he leaned into it. And I don't blame him. He's holding the microphone out. He's like, you guys sing, and they did. I mean, it was the whole arena singing You Give Love a Bad Name and that sort of thing. His other secret weapon is Phil X.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, Phil X carries a big load vocally, and he's an amazing singer. And I raved about him on the Triumph tour, and
Yeah.
here he is on the Bon Jovi tour. I would love to live his life. The most wanted guitar player on the planet is Phil X.
I would love to see Steve Brown from Trickster get
Yeah,
involved with these shows
I need to
because
watch these.
you totally do. You
I
absolutely
do.
do. That would be pretty cool. But just the fact that Bon Jovi, as it stands right now, Bon Jovi of 2026, they're back on tour.
Right.
No.
Can you believe though? These are sold out shows. 9 of them.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Everyone knows there. You would have to be living under a rock, as you like to say, to not know he had vocal problems. There was a 3-part, 4-part Hulu documentary talking about this, and it was mostly about his problems with his vocal cords and the surgery he was going to have, and all of those things, or he had already had. And knowing that, people still bought tickets.
Right. I'm gonna pull something out.
Keeping the faith. They were keeping the faith.
All right. So I have had a couple people ask, where's Richie Sambora?
Oh my gosh. Who?
People.
Okay. Richie's not been in the band a very long time.
Right. But here we are, 4 years after the last Bon Jovi tour. Bon Jovi's going back out. And not everybody, there's a lot of people saying, well, where is Richie Sambora? The answer is Richie Sambora is not in Bon Jovi anymore.
Let's see when he left.
There was a comment or a post that I was trying to find.
2013.
Yeah.
Richie Sambora's been gone since 2013. Abruptly. It was very abrupt.
Yeah.
He kind of just left, and there was some family issues going on and some other things that may have been going on, and he's not been back. They've not. He and John both contend they're still friendly. They're still. When the documentary was premiered, Richie watched it at John's house.
Yeah.
It's a strange relationship, but I don't think Richie wants to get back in that grind. You know, that grind at his age where it's day, 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 day. We're touring all the time.
Well, and I'm simply assuming that this comment was made in regards to Jon Bon Jovi. This was 8 hours as of now, 2 minutes away from the top of the hour of 8 o'clock. He goes in response to somebody saying, "Why are people so cruel?" Richie Sambora says, "Yes, dear, they don't realize he wants me nowhere near this band."
Really?
I don't know the context to that. I don't know if he's talking about Jon Bon Jovi or not. But there was some other stuff that some people are doing because, keyboard warriors, stuff like that. But if that's the case, and if he was referring to Jon Bon Jovi, then okay, it's his band. If he doesn't want Richie Sambora involved, it's okay. Richie Sambora is doing just fine.
Right.
Jon Bon Jovi and the band Bon Jovi, they're going to be just fine. Absolutely.
Obviously, because they've got 9 sold out shows at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I personally miss that dynamic that he and John had when they would play and sing together and write together.
Yeah.
The songs that John is playing, you can't forget they were written by Richie as well.
Yep.
The big ones. But no, he's not been there in a long time, and the touring schedule was getting to him. He was trying to prioritize family. I think there may have been some other issues going on. I think they're still going on, depending on what interview you watch. But Richie can still sing really well and still play really well.
If you want some of that that nostalgia, just go onto YouTube or wherever and look up the 1989 MTV Video Music Awards and watch them and listen to them sing the stripped down medley of Living on a Prayer and Wanted Dead or Alive. It's raw.
It's excellent.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
With that being said, since it's now my turn to choke, we're done. We're done with this episode because I've got to drink more and I don't like silence. But you got it anyway because Ace didn't say anything while I took a drink.
Well, you were in the middle of a sentence.
I was drinking.
He's choking to death, everyone. We'll see you next week.
I am.
Good night from the Weekly Pour. Rock on.
See ya.